And we're back for part 2. I thought about doing this thing where I'd be circulating guests into the different parts and episodes, so I'm going to start with a few friends of mine.
Oh, friend! Oh, new friend!
Welcome to the Let's Play, Ben.
Hey! Oh my god, what the hell am I doing here?
We're gonna find out.
Oh boy, Chrono Trigger. Jeez. Man, I love the crap out of this game, so this is gonna be great. I hope.
Everybody loves Chrono Trigger, Ben. Well, I didn't know...
This is true. Everybody who has taste, I should say.
Everybody has taste. Well, I didn't know how good the game was. Just like growing up in N64 days, I had to go back, like, as an adult and play all the fantastic Super Nintendo games, many of which you introduced me to, like Soul Blazer, for instance.
This is true. Yeah, like, I was the lucky one who had an SNES growing up, or access to one, I should say, and me and my friends and I played the crap ton out of just about anything that you could come up with as far as the SNES classics, and Chrono Trigger being one of the premier ones, so...
It doesn't even...
this game is so good.
Well, that's one of the great things about this game is you don't have to be from specifically that 10-year period when it first came out, because you can go back and it's almost timeless in that way, and that's not a pun.
Did you really forget to equip the equipment that you were supposed to equip already?
That may or may not be a thing that I do quite often.
God damn it! Damn it!
The important thing is that we have it on now, and we won't have any more problems with the inhabitants of these woods because we're already through them.
Just check your equipment. It's not hard.
I forget things. Check out that hair. Where'd you come from, son? Are you one of Magus' troopers? See, even the soldiers have an issue with Chrono's anime hairstyle.
This is true.
But frankly, I enjoy the Dragon Ball-esque art style.
I love that there is such a thing as a stamp collection in medieval times as well. That was always hilarious to me. It's like, do you even know what a stamp is, sir? Do you know how to read?
That's a good question, because there's a good chance that half the people that we're encountering in this era do not know how to read. This will come back later when we finally meet the next party member. Is that if there's one thing in this entire fantastic game that people take issue with, it's some of the little localization things.
Well, there are a couple of other things as well, but we'll get to those once we, get to them, I should say. I don't want to get too much into that yet. But yeah, there are some localization issues, definitely. Some of them, though, I would say are not really issues. In fact, some of the localization that was done, I would actually say were improvements, and were in fact good for the game as far as bringing it to the West. So I would say that if they left some of the changes they made untouched, then that might have actually hurt the game's appeal to us. Again, I don't want to get into that yet, but I'm sure people who have played and are fans of Chrono Trigger probably know very well what I'm alluding to. But for the sake of those who may have not played this yet, I'm trying to be mysterious.
We'll hold back a little bit. I've already kind of spoiled a few things. Only things that are blatantly obvious. Like, we already talked over Queen Lane, quotations, quote unquote, just now, and they've already heard me harp on the pronunciation of Marley's name and how it's spelled in a way that would be pronounced Marley in English.
Yeah. But
people have a habit, and it's even starting to affect me, calling her Marl. Like, I sometimes do it by accident, and it infuriates me.
I did that all the time when I played this game. I just called her Marl because I was so used to the E being silent or whatever. So I was
the Chancellor says and then walks away.
Go after him. Find out what he's doing.
I'm not suspicious. I'm not suspicious of the Chancellor at all. It seems like an upstanding gentleman to me.
Of course.
Sir,
we're playing Chrono like that, are we? Oh, good. So in that case, he has an in-game reason for equipping his wooden sword when he goes battling monsters instead of the iron one he just bought. Great.
And now it has nothing to do with the fact that I forgot.
Of course. Yes, you were just being in character. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. Sure.
I understand that you're the one who saved my dear wife, the Queen. But can you tell me what happened? Lean's acting rather odd. And she seems to have lost her coral pin, which is something she guarded with her life. Forgive me, you must be tired. We can talk about this later. Please rest in the knight's quarters downstairs to the left.
I also always love the fact that you can move around in this game while people are talking, so you get these wonderful moments of the king of the land is talking directly to you.
And you just
someone
walk
who is
away.
used to having a subject, of being a subject of a king, and you're just looking over there like, ooh, a butterfly. What's over there?
I'm glad that the king in the earlier time period doesn't look like the king in 1999 because he's kind of the 1999 king. Marl's dad is kind of old, and I know Lean is supposed to be older than Marley, but I would take issue with it if he didn't look younger as he does.
Well, yeah,
for obvious reasons.
Yeah, like they talk about how she looks much younger if you talk to some of the NPCs than she was even on her wedding day and whatnot. It's basically just, yeah, it would not have made sense if he looked old beforehand. It might have, but unfortunately would have made the wrong kind of sense. So
never mind that Marley is several generations removed from the queen, and yet somehow looks just like her. We won't go into that point of genetics. Come nearer, sir. I'm as close as I can get, but let's take a mindless step forward.
Yeah.
Giggle. Fooled you, didn't I, Chrono?
No, you really didn't.
I was fooled. She had me completely caught off guard, Ben.
Of course, yes. You know, that giggle at the very beginning didn't reveal anything at all.
Oh, no, absolutely not. It's me, but everyone calls me Lean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so relieved you're here. And cue the nice music. We barely know each other, but somehow I knew you'd come for me.
Music in this game is so good, so good. I don't care. I don't even care if people don't like the game for whatever batshit reason. The music is beyond reproach.
Thank you, Chrono.
Something's
wrong. Chrono just shakes his head. Nah, you're fine. What's happening? It feels like I'm being torn apart. Help me, Chrono. I'm scared. Please, Chrono, help me.
Yeah.
What?
Nah, seeing that at the back when I was a kid was actually kind of scary.
I imagine that would have been terrifying.
Yeah, like I had seen Back to the Future beforehand, so I knew what a time paradox was already. So
yeah, Back to the Future is a good barometer for judging like some of the things that happen in this game.
I also love that the maid just insinuated that you might have gotten freaky with the queen and
getting a little frisky in there. You should do that.
Yeah, and
Chrono, Luca, best character in the game, just showed up. Huff, Puff, you're okay. Did you find the girl? I found my girl.
What do you mean she's gone?
Gone? What do you mean she's gone? Never mind her.
yeah. Heartthrob of a million geeks worldwide. Yeah.
Well, I
don't blame you at all.
There is no other Benjamin. It's just as I thought. I knew I recognized her. And this looks identical to the castle in our time. I'll bet they mistook that girl for her ancestor. You see, she's a member of the royal family in our time. She's Princess Nadia.
Yes.
What? Chrono's surprised face. I love the castle song. Marley, that is, Princess Nadia, is a descendant of Queen Lean.
Lean.
It might be Lean. I never even considered that.
If you're doing the E at the end, then you got to consider that as a possibility too.
It is a possibility.
Yeah.
Well, with the two E's, it could be up in the air as to which one it is.
It is
and that's
possible.
The difference between Marley and Marl is the double vowels in there kind of throw me off.
Liene actually is a possibility as well.
Also a possibility.
Anyway,
Queen, we're going to stick with Lane for now, has been kidnapped. As I recall, someone's supposed to have saved her, but history's been changed. Time paradoxes. I could point out the many different things that could be wrong with this based on different interpretations of how time travel works, but let's not get into that. We'll just give ourselves headaches.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, Back to the Future, like, I mentioned Back to the Future before, but Back to the Future really does, like, if you actually follow Doc Brown's explanation, then it does a much better job of explaining how bad time paradoxes can really be, ultimately. It's like, You know, it's still like very condensed because of course it's a movie and you want to do a lot more research to really understand how a time paradox works. But yeah, this is a very condensed version, but it's very simple. I like how they do this.
It works.
They show exactly what's going on and how this is a thing, and it's basic so that you can follow along about why this is bad and what happened to Marley and all the rest.
Well, because Marley looks so much like Lean that they probably called off their search when she appeared here. But if the real queen is killed. Funny animation of a murder.
Yep.
Then that happens.
Well, I mean, they could show her head being cut off, but come on.
Well, they're not. I'm not saying that they should do that. I'm just find that toned down version amusing. Marley will simply disappear. There might still be time. If we can save Lean, history as we know it should remain unchanged.
Okay, except that Marley has just disappeared, so...
Well, you still remember her? See, that's that time travel thing.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, it's not even the fact. Marley has already disappeared, so how can there still be time if she... Like, I don't... Like, they...
Time travel, let's not...
Yeah, I know.
Something must have happened to the Queen in this era. As a result, Princess Nadia ceases to exist.
Oh, trust me, it gets way more complicated in the next game, but whatever, we'll get to that later!
We'll get to that later. Hurry, we have to find the real Queen. Finally, a party of 2, and I can tear through enemies much easier with more than one party member. Thank Christ.
A wonderful duet. What, you couldn't do it before with Chrono alone in the forest?
I mean, I could, but it's easier with Luca. Talking about the music again, one thing that I take issue with is that because people who don't know the story behind the development of this game, they often give Nobuo Uematsu, and Nobuo Uematsu is a genius, a musical genius.
Oh, he is.
And deserves the credit that he gets. But the primary composer for this game was Yasunori Mitsuda, who was
Oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
The stress of it, he created like 2/3 of the music in this game, but the stress of it caused him to have a stomach ulcer. So as a result, a lot of people who don't know that story give Nobuo all the credit when a lot of it should go to, most of it should go to Mitsuda. Not that Nobuo isn't fantastic, but credit where credit is due. Mitsuda definitely earned it with all the work he put in.
Absolutely.
He actually went on to be the composer for the Xenosaga games.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was part of Xenosaga, wasn't he? Good. Yeah, and I played Xenosaga 1 and 2. I've beaten 1.
I've played none of them. I've started Xenogears, but maybe we'll dabble back.
Xenogears is so good. It's a flawed masterpiece. I will.
I will talk forever about that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to talking about that eventually. Where in the world should we go next?
Oh boy, I have no ideas.
The only accessible place on the map, perhaps.
Yeah, we could go to the town and start dicking around there if we really wanted to.
And yet, cathedral, because you can't call it church.
We could
American localization.
We could also check out the broken bridge that is broken.
We could do that. Matter of fact, we probably should, but we'll get to that later. A real killer, she says. Not something you would expect a nun to say. But...
Yeah. Oh, check the others. They're even better. Come on.
All right. We'll see what they say. People wouldn't know what to do with themselves in a truly peaceful world. My, what delicious, delightful-looking humans.
Uh-huh.
Interesting comment.
Yes.
We want nothing but world peace. Or peace of the world, teehee. Ho, turn a phrase, wordplay.
Wow, amazing.
Oh dear, looks like you could use some food and a place to rest. Oh look, it's a save point. Or
it's a thing on the ground.
Yeah, I know that. I'm pointing it out.
Yes. I know you are, still.
What did you find? A hairpin? You mean like the one the Queen was missing? That's Guardia's royal crest.
Oh my god, shocker of shock!
What? Yeah, I'm not particularly worried about these guys. They're actually pretty weak, but they have a really annoying, slow spell.
I remember actually the first time I fought them, I was under leveled. So this was actually about as hard as a boss battle for me to actually beat these guys, because this was the first time that I fought 4 actual tough enemies. Like everything else I either avoided or like breezed through, but these 4 were basically like painful to get through for me.
I'd say the trick is probably, they have a decent amount of health, but they don't do a lot of damage. The trick, I would say, is to focus all your attention on them one at a time.
Oh, absolutely.
And reduce the number of people who are attacking you.
Yeah, that's usually the best course of action for any kind of HP related, especially old school RPG, is if you just concentrate everything you have on one being until they go down, then that lessens the amount of attackers against you, and then you just do the same thing over and over until they all fall down. And basically, yeah, that's how you do it.
Simple calculus for this early point in the game.
Now there are of course games that try and break that mold and make it so that enemies will get wounded and they will get penalties as they get injured and stuff like that. But
get
those
more
are
powerful and such.
Yeah, or something like that. But those are rare and far between. Usually it's best just to focus fire on one. Of course, I didn't know that at the time because I'm being about, what was I, like 9, 8, something like that, and not really used to RPGs at all.
Well,
so yeah.
The benefit of the text in this game, where you can attack more than one enemies, is that it kind of drags you away from focusing on one target because you got to jump with the chance to hit more than one, especially if you're doing the same amount of damage.
Yeah.
And that's beneficial if you're there in a position where you can hit the right ones often enough.
Of course, here we are talking about tactics, and you didn't fight enough to get the first dual tech that we were supposed to get.
I'm about to get it. If I don't get it in this fight, I'll get it in the next.
Yeah.
One. They come pretty quick, the dual techs. You get tech points at a pretty decent rate.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's all based on the single text that you have and what you have and who you have in your party member. Like, basically, the instant you get unlocked the single text that would combine to make the dual tech, and then and you have those party members active in one battle, then the dual tech or even triple tech, once we get 3 party members, will unlock. That's just how it works.
Pretty great system. Oh, levels up.
Whoop.
No text this time, but they'll come. Whew, that was close. Yeah, not really. Oh, snap! Another one!
A surprise attack! What? Who?
Oh! It's lower than God. Thou art allowing the enemy in.
And here we go. My favorite character in the whole damn game.
Thou'rt here to save the queen? The Luca theme, even though Frog has shown up.
Yes.
The lairs deep within. Will thee accompany me?
Mm-hmm.
Now here's that localization thing. Why is he the only person in this time period that talks like that?
Oh,
they should all talk like that.
Let's go. Oh, you are opening a huge can of worms by asking about that, sir, and you know it very well. The truth is that in the actual Japanese version, he talks like a drunken layabout who basically is surly and just basically is morose about everything.
Which makes sense, given his character background, but not what we got out of the character in the American version.
In the localized version, the localizers decide that he might be too unlikable for Western audiences, which I actually agree with. Looking at the actual translated text for Frog from Japan, I would actually say that yes, he would not have been as likable or as beloved today in the West as he is now, if they had not made the changes they did. So yes, the fact that he's speaking in flowery prose and basically being very chivalrous and stuff is not true to the Japanese version, but it is, in my opinion, a testament to how modifications can sometimes work in the game's favor if they are done with care and with the audience in mind.
My guise does not incur thy trust? Very well, do as thee please, but I shall save the queen. God save the queen. Mm-hmm. Well, wait. You don't seem like a bad person, Frog thing. I mean, geez, Luca may be racist.
Seriously, it's like you like the racist girl here. And it's like, come on, man.
She's growing. She can grow as a character.
Yeah.
Chrono, what should we do? Go with the frog. Obviously, 3 is better than 2 in an RPG. Absolutely. What's your name? Frog. Frog will do.
It's like, why not? It's like...
He's shredded! Alright, nice to meet you, Frog. Mayhap a hidden door lurks nigh. Let us search the environs. And that is a thing we'll
Now
do.
imagine a 9-year-old trying to decipher what the hell he just said, who has never seen Shakespeare or read Shakespeare or any of that other stuff, and basically was like, what? What did he just ask me to do? Like, it took me a full 5 minutes in order to figure out, oh, he wants me to look around, which is what I'm already doing, so yeah.
And then there's pretty much only one thing in this entire room you can interact with, so...
And it was also hinted at before with the nun blocking and stuff, much like that. So the game is very smart about leading the player in a very non-intrusive manner. It doesn't have big neon signs going, oh, here's where you go. You know, it doesn't have these dotted lines basically directing you exactly to where you go. You can go wherever you want, but the game does give you clues as to where to go next to progress the story and such. And they are very well placed, in my opinion.
And maybe next we should go in that door, which we will do next time.
Uh-oh.
In part 3.
Oh dear. See you guys then. Maybe.